All right, welcome back. This chapter is going to focus on cash processing. Now, it's very simple. We all know processing the cash, everything that is after the customer has given us the order. Till the time material reaches the customer's premise. Once it reaches the customer's premise, a GRN has happened, then it is not your material, which means it moves to the next stage. So, from the time you receive the order or you receive the advance till the time it reaches the customer premise is processing. Okay, just remember that. Let's look at this processing. Now, if you look at processing, how do you do cash processing? What are the elements that you will see as hurdles while you're doing it? Let's look at this. The first one is standard operating procedures. If you do not have standard operating procedures in your company, then there is a huge challenge in processing the entire order. Now, it could be the quality of the order might go on toss. You might procure more. You might hire wrong people. You might not be able to deliver the quality. All of this by one simple thing. I'll show you a format, okay? I'll show you a format. Everything in the company can be standardized. Now, even if you're a projectized company, even if you have projects, okay, it can be standardized internally, okay? For the customer, it's a new item. For you, it is regular what you're doing. I oftenly give this example. Just imagine you have a customized Facebook page, isn't it? You have your own profile. But are you thinking that somebody in Facebook is already constantly making it customized? No. You have customized experience. For them, the Facebook page is standardized. Okay? And they're constantly evolving that page so that they can give you better experience. That's exactly. Now, this is software. Can I do it in hardware? Can I do it in machines? Of course, yes. I'll show you examples of how you can do that, right? So that's very important, standard operating procedures. Let me quickly show you the format that is required for standard operating procedures and what is a method of writing the process book. Okay, let's look at this. Any process book needs to have these 6 things which are coming on your slides right now, okay? Objective, which is the statement of purpose, department representation, and sub-department representation. Then, simple workflow diagram, which has yes, no, maybe. To-do list, which means what are the steps to be done to complete. Checklist, the tick box, whether it is done or no. An escalation matrix of level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, and level 5 if you have. TAT for it. Person's name, number, and email ID. This is mandatory into a SOP book. Now, when you write an SOP book, say assuming you have 100 SOPs written down, it becomes your way. So say if we have our book like this, it will be called as SIL's way. EC will have EC Energy's way. M Square will have M Square, M Square's way. MSM will have MSM's way. Neologic will have Neologic's way. So all these companies are companies that we have been consulting and have grown and scaled with us. Now that takes us to the next part of it on cash processing and how you can solve that. Let's look at a system that interacts with each another department, right? So the tally is not interacting with my sales guys, and my sales guys are using CRM, and that's not interacting with my marketing, and my marketing is using something which my logistics doesn't know, my branding doesn't know, or there is a big mess in the company and there are multiple systems that are getting used. Now, you could still have multiple systems because probably at the stage of the company you are, it's heavy on the pocket to use a SAP or to probably use an Oracle system and stuff like that, right? Including the Microsoft system. So I'm completely buying the point. But is there a bridge that you have created of data? Okay, how do you create that bridge? The simple way of creating that bridge is by conducting reviews and rhythms on weekly, daily, monthly basis. Even if you have different systems, you have common information coming in. Dashboards are missing. So this is something that is important. So see if that is missing in the company, which is called systems that interact with each department. If you do not have competent people or your competencies and challenge of your people, there are 2 things that you could do. You either hire competent people or you coach and retrain those people, because if you do not let them go to the level that you're talking about, you cannot demand money from the customer. Okay, that's the third thing. And fourth thing is department accountability. Which department is accountable for what? Okay, so I generally say this, like my sales marketing, okay, is responsible for cash creation. My design, my projects team, my manufacturing team, my stores, my logistics, my purchase is responsible for processing of it. My finance and accounts is responsible for collection. Okay. Now, when I say collection, I'm not talking about they have the responsibility to collect the money, but they are somebody who will felicitate and facilitate the entire process of collection from the customer in help and coordination with the sales team. Okay, hence it is a circular motion, right? That's how it works. So who is accountable? And it's the person knowing that this is his job and he has to deliver this job in this time. And that creates a pressure. You remember I said right at the beginning that you need the fourth person to make sure that the change management is happening. The entire khichdi, my dear friends, happens in processing. Okay, why? Because too many people working at the same time trying to achieve their own goals in the process sometimes forget there's an organization goal. So everybody is working for themselves and nobody is working for that company, or they feel they are working for the company, but everybody is only working for themselves. Okay, and now this is where the khichdi lies, and hence you need a good change manager, a person who understands people, process, money. Okay, if you do not have a person in your company, please hire him or get a consulting from him of how to get that done. Because if people are not aligned in the same direction, they create mess. And if they are aligned in the same direction and they're working in that direction every day, then it's all about profits and scalability in the company. Just don't forget this. Okay, so that's a department. Now, this is nothing to do with HR. Okay, this is change management. They're two different things, and keep that in mind, right? Departmental accountability will come to people when those KRAs and KPIs and AOPs and all of those structures are built. Okay, and once that is done, then we move forward. In the next part, it's clear roles and responsibilities. This is where HR comes in picture. Okay, so this is where, so if you look at processing, is intervened in everything. Logistics is there, my stores are there, my HR is there, my accounts is there, everybody is there in processing. So hence clear roles and responsibilities. So if you don't know how to do it, or if you have somebody and is able to do it, he or she should understand business. If they do not understand business, then whatever they write down is, roles and responsibilities is not going to make sense. Okay, because then they will say, oh, what we are doing versus what is written down is completely different. So people generally don't go and move towards it. So it's very important that it's ingrained in business language rather than just writing down some numbers to achieve. That takes us to the next part of it. It's called technical, behavioral, and management education for your people. Okay, if you want to process your cash in time, in quality, that gives your customers an excitement and satisfaction and delight, it is very important that your people are competent to deliver that. It's not about your competence, it is about your people's competence. Okay, so if you intend to process your cash well, all right, you need to give them doses of education. Okay, doses of education. There's a thumb rule: 52 hours a year, which means 1 hour a week. So this could go from 52 hours up to extension of 80 hours a year, which means 6 to 8 days of education per person in your company. Now, you can have a batch of 15, 20, 100, it doesn't matter. You can have a 15,000 rupees person who's talking about it. You can have a 1 lakh rupee person talking about it, based on the maturity, size of your organization. Okay. Now, if you feel my budget is 15,000, you would get somebody in 15,000. If you feel, no, my people are now qualified, they need right competence, they need to be deep in teaching and all of that, then you might hire somebody who charges you a lakh of rupees, but who does the job right. Everything is expensive if you do not get the value out of it. And nothing is expensive if you are really driving the value out of it. Just keep this in mind, and as business owners, as entrepreneurs, keep that in mind, that nothing is expensive around you. Everything is driven by value. If you do not get the value, then even 10 rupees is expensive, isn't it? You just imagine, I'll give you an example. You go to a restaurant with your family, you spend 10,000 bucks and you're okay with it, right? But when you just lose 100 bucks, okay, maybe from your pocket, or it's fallen down, you feel extremely bad about losing that because you've not derived a value out of the 100 bucks. So make sure that do not have your finances, your financial eye, just based on money, okay? Then you're going to be penny-wise, pound-foolish. That's what I generally call people, right? Don't be penny-wise, pound-foolish. See the value that you're getting, and if that value, you're confident that this value is going to be driven and this is the value that you want from the market, then there's no problems with paying the money. Okay, it's like, going to a doctor who says, listen, and I want a heart surgery. Okay, you go to the best of the doctors in the budgets that you have, right? But you will first look at what is the value that doctor will give you. Now that's very important when you look at consulting, because most of us tend to look at consultants as just the money part of it. It's like Monday. How much would you take, sir, for a day? Now, this is very shallow thinking. And this kind of a shallow thinking is not allowing us to get the right intelligence in the company. Don't forget, it's not the consultant's issue. It is the business owner's issue who wants to rent the intelligence. Okay, so if you want to rent the intelligence, please look at the value that you're wanting to drive, and then be very straight and very honest about, this is the value that I want from you. Okay, because I'm 100% sure, what I've seen, so many consultants working at School of Inspirational Leadership, I've seen one common thing. Everybody wants to contribute. And I've seen this in being in this industry for such a long time, that anybody who becomes consultants, the basic need is to share and contribute. So if you are able to tell him, this is what I want from you, I'm 100% sure, to his best ability, he will be able to do that. He or she will be able to do that. So make sure that you are able to build your consulting team, or probably your competence of your people, with right people along with that, right? So that's one thought that I wanted to give. Let's look at this seventh one. It's called collaborations and partnerships. See what you can outsource. See what you can give it to people and get it done in a better price, or probably better time, or better quality. So don't be looking at doing everything by yourself. Okay, it could be a certain part of your manufacturing you can outsource, a certain part of accounting. Accounting is not a function that you do inside. It is bookkeeping. Bookkeeping is not going to help you grow business. What are those 3-4 people doing? Outsource it to the experts. Let them do that, and make sure that you get reports that are required. Your statutories are right, reports are right. That's it. Okay, that's it. Unnecessary spending money on that and sitting with them for hours every day is not making sense. You sit in front of the customers, right? So see what collaborations and partnerships that you can do, and just finish that off as fast. The more lean you become in your processing, the better and faster is your processing. Just don't forget that. Now is the eighth point. The eighth point is vendor development and management of those vendors. Okay, you can classify your vendors. You should have alternatives of your vendors, so that in any given time when you have a peak, you are able to serve your customer well. Okay, there is no point. What do I mean by, I oftenly give the definition of quality. It is subjective to market maturity in the territory, the geographical territory that you are serving a product in. Now, if you really look at it, say you have a peak and you're not able to deliver on time, that is not quality. If you have a peak and you are not able to give the right quality to the material quality to your customer, that's not quality, right? So it's when you have a low period, then you spend a lot of time and do it right and all of that. That's not what quality is. Whether it is today, or which you are at low, or whether you're at high, it needs to be delivered in the same quality levels. Now, what do you mean by delivering at same quality levels? Unless and until you don't have an ecosystem of vendors that allow you to do that, okay, and they are able to deliver it in that kind of a quality, you will not be. So vendors are equally important like bankers. Okay, why? Just imagine, say, assuming I'm your vendor. Right now, you're listening to me, I'm your vendor. You take a credit of 30 days from me. Assuming you take a credit of 30, unless it is a raw material that, like steel and copper that you have to upfrontly pay, but or some agriculture products as well. Assuming I'm your vendor, you've taken 30 days credit from me. Typically, you have used my 30 days money. Okay. And after that, when I deliver the product, after the invoice, I'm going to give you pay after 30 days, which means I have invested in your business for more than 60 days. He's just a bank. He's not even charging you any rate of interest. So he's as important as bank. He's as important as an employee. We should treat them well. We should engage them well. We should create that fantastic ecosystem that allows them to become your partners. Okay, see if this is making sense. And we've used this mechanism in every engineering, every project-based company, every B2C company where huge operations are there. We've created a fantastic ecosystem for them of vendors who are supporting them in their growth. And we treat them as equal partners of the company. That mindset for your people is absolutely critical, and that needs to be created in a system. So ninth part is outsourcing. I've already given you information on outsourcing. Let's quickly move to the point 10, and that's called cash flow management and control. If cash is getting processed well, or it is not getting processed well, You need to know it in time. And that can only happen through your internal audits, and that can only happen if you understand the cash flow management to be kept in track. Okay? I'll give you a very simple mechanics. Every day in the morning, you need to know how much money should come in your bank. Every day in the evening, you should know how much money has come to your bank and what is not right. Okay, I have, I oftenly say, whatever revenues you want to make, divide that revenues by 365 days. Typically 52 days go in my holidays of Sundays, then around 20 days go in the earned leaves or something like that. So 70-80 days have gone. I'm hardly left with 280 days. So 280 days divide by whatever revenues I want to make is the amount of money that I need to have every day. And that's exactly how you have to push the company. Because once company is pushed in that and they start understanding this cycle right, then the orbit, the energy of the company changes, for which you need to have this cash flow management and control in place. That takes us to the next part of it. I'll see you in next part. I hope you're enjoying the entire understanding of how this has to be done. And by the way, if it was so easy, everybody could have scaled up, isn't it? It is not easy. And let me be very candid upfront on your face. It requires discipline, it requires focus, it requires commitment, and requires a team who's highly passionate to make it happen. Okay? If you really feel that you are committed, you are disciplined, and you are looking for these kind of partners, please look around you. The best of the best guys are available. We are a very learned country, but keep your mindset absolutely open to take that strive in the moment which allows you to move forward. Orbit needs to change. If the orbit doesn't change, no change is going to happen. It starts with you first, then your team, and then the market. I'll see you in the next session.